sound. Oh man. We will have a good time, hopefully, and my audio is fine. It doesn't need to be too loud. Am I public? Yeah, I'm public. I'm public! Let's check the audio. Public? Yeah, public. I'm public! I'm actually testing it through my speaker. I'm not using any earbuds now. I'm actually testing it through my speaker. I'm not using any earbuds now. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Instead of using this, I can just... Okay. And I hope there's not much delay. Likes today. I'm gonna start reading stories soon. Now, sorry. Apologize for being so loud. 2,350 subscribers I had, but right now it's 49. I don't know who left, but whoever left just subscribed to troll. I think so. Hello. Yep, I'm live again. I'm gonna be very frequent this month. I probably need to write a better description for the stream so that it reaches enough people. By the way, is my audio loud and clear? I actually checked through my speakers this time because my earbuds sometimes it just interrupts by getting connected to the other device. You know what I mean. Sometimes it just see that by getting connected to the... So yeah, I can check. Yeah, thank you very much. Let's see if more people join or not. I'm gonna start reading stories in a bit. Before that, I just need to check everything. If everything is proper. Everything needs to be proper. You're pacing, right? Walking in your room. So keep doing that. I'm just optimizing the live stream before reading anything. Okay, it's fine now. Hello everyone, welcome to the midnight stream. Oh no, don't play. What the hell? Shut up. 12 people. I have some stories, of course, today. And I'm gonna read in a bit, but I think I should start now since 12 people. Oh yeah. Yesterday I wanted to talk about a pattern I noticed during these live. I already mentioned many times that YouTube declared it for small creators the reach is limited, but they never explained it, why and how. And I've been doing these for a while. Like it's already my maybe probably 20th stream, and I noticed a pattern that after an hour, 1 hour, YouTube stops recommending the stream. It will every now and then, but it's like YouTube is telling that you should do it only an hour. 1 hour or 2 hour, I didn't notice, but I will notice this today again. Like now, it's 2 here, so I'm gonna notice this when it's 3 and see if it's actually correct. But that's not a theory. YouTube actually told us that small creators will have limited reach, but how low they never told us. What should I call this? I mean, when you're very specific about skin color, you call them racist, but yeah, that's annoying. That's more like sizist. I don't know. Let's read some stories. I will start in a bit. Yeah, me neither. Tell me if you face any issue. Discrimination against small channels. But maybe YouTube... No, I actually understand YouTube. Like, YouTube wants audience to stay, and they definitely gonna care about the big channels because let's say somebody open YouTube and they don't want to risk showing up small channels, because they're still learning. Channels that those are already developed, so they can entertain people better, so YouTube doesn't take any risk. So I understand that. But they shouldn't limit us with like too much. That's what I'm saying. Okay, time for the first story. Hold on a second. This story is from Bangladesh. This is the first scary story I'm gonna read, which occurred in Bangladesh. So I wish somebody from Bangladesh was here. That would be fun. Okay, let me read. There's a bus route in Dhaka that supposedly never show up on GPS. Interesting. So, there's a bus route in Dhaka that supposedly never shows up on GPS. The starting is already very creepy. Locals call it Route 13. Late at night, when the streets are almost empty, some people say a completely silent bus pulls up beside them. The doors open on their own. Inside, every seat is taken, but by people who don't move. Okay, let me read this again. Late at night, when the streets are almost empty, some people say a completely silent bus pulls up beside them. A ghost bus. The doors open on their own. Inside, every seat is taken, but by people who don't move. So shadowy figure, basically. They just stare straight ahead. Pale-faced like mannequins. Okay, not shadowy figures. Actual humans, but they don't move. If you step inside, the driver never speaks. The bus starts moving faster and faster until the windows blur. Passengers who've escaped say the city outside looks wrong. Buildings stretched too tall. Roads looping back on themselves like the world is folding. The rule is simple. Don't look directly at the passengers. If you do, you'll notice they're not breathing. And if you try to get off the bus, the driver finally turns around. He only says one thing, but you're already home. Okay, I think I got the story. Basically, there's a chance you're gonna get inside a haunted bus, and people there knows about it. But you should never react to that. Just act like a regular passenger. Behind every single passenger are like dead people. They don't move, they don't talk, they don't do anything. You just gotta use the bus like a regular bus, but it's haunted. How about I put on some music? Since that gonna fit better. I usually do, but today I didn't pick any specific music. But let me do that anyways. I usually, whenever I go streaming, I decide 2 to 3 music beforehand. Because you know copyright is a thing. But now I'm gonna just randomly play one. I don't even know, like I didn't even decide, so I don't know. Let's test. What the hell? Thank you for 3 likes. I got 3 likes so far already. Yeah, I like the story too. It's actually an urban legend and people believe that it's actually true. I heard in Bangladesh, people believe spiritual stuff very easily, you know? I wish there was somebody from Bangladesh to confirm that, if it's true or not. This specific story, how accurate this is. Can you imagine, you're traveling during midnight, you hop in a bus, and every single passengers are like zombies. You know? Not too loud. Not too loud. I wouldn't go in a bus like that. That's the plot hole in every horror stories. Movies or true. They're too brave. You know? Welcome. I can't read your name, but I think it's XS Mujahid 21. Where are you from? Because I just read a story from Bangladesh and your name sounds like a Muslim name, so maybe you're from Bangladesh. Just an assumption. A very specific assumption, actually. Too bad. I'm not good with these. Let me check my audio. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Let me check my audio. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear the music? I'm just testing the audio. 3 votes, and all of you said yes, that I'm gonna reach. Yeah, that's the idea. You're not supposed to listen to it very loudly. Okay, let's read another one. Are we ready? Yes, we are. People say that if you're walking alone near an old apartment. Okay, let me check first if it's scary enough. I think it's scary enough. Let's... Okay. People say that if you're walking alone near an old apartment block and your phone suddenly fills with okay, sorry, it's static, and I was reading it as satanic. People say that if you're walking alone near an old apartment block and your phone suddenly fills with static, don't stop. Keep moving. Years ago, a repairman died while fixing electrical lines on the roof of one such building. Now, whenever someone passes by after midnight, their phone signals crackles, and a tall, thin silhouette appears at the top floor windows. Interesting. If you look up, you'll see him standing there, head tilted, body twitching like a bad TV signal. He doesn't move first, he just watches. But the real danger is the second time your phone crackles. That's when he's no longer in the window. He's right behind you. The following story is just an urban legend. Okay, so it was a urban legend. But this one sounds a little real to me. I mean, this can happen. Hey brother, hey Sean. After a long time, you're actually... Shut up. Why this music automatically playing? After a while, we're seeing each other, right? Yeah, of course I remember. Last time you joined my stream probably was 6 months ago, right? Around that time. Of course I remember. Ishan from India, right? You're trying to be a police officer or something, if I remember it correctly. Let's read another story, shall we? Bro, my old account comment cannot show here, but really? I have no idea what's going on. Makes no sense. But it depends. Sometimes YouTube censors it, you know? Sometimes you didn't say anything wrong. YouTube gonna think you said probably a bad word, so YouTube just blocks the comment. Did you try again? Did you try again? I tried few times. I apologize. I'll check this out. What happened exactly? It wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, you just said hello. But I didn't see any comment from that account. I don't know, man. It can happen. It can happen. Okay, the sound isn't fine. Let me read another story before people leaves me. My channel name CGL Wala Ishan. Yeah, I remember it. I remember it. Sorry, bro. But I will check. Thank you for the likes. Let me read another story. In some neighborhoods, people warn kids not to answer when someone calls their name from outside the house at night. It started with a girl who heard her mother calling, "Come here for a minute." She opened the door, but her mother was asleep in the next room. Sounds familiar already, the story. Since then, others have reported the same thing, a familiar voice calling them outside. Sometimes a parent, sometimes a friend, sometimes even their own voice, whispering from the dark. If you step outside to check, the voice always sounds close, but you never find anyone. The only clue people report is this. A few seconds after the voice stops, something taps on the door from the inside. As if whatever calls you is trying to get back in. Okay. This is kinda interesting. If you guys want, I can dig deep and tell you the details. Can you do live on time 10 to 11? 10 to 11, which country? It really depends. Creepypasta, what? No, this is not a filter. My head is just big, Rakib. Eleanor says, I heard something similar. When you hear a knock on the door, you check who is there from inside and see no one. You shouldn't open the door. I think I heard that too. Okay, so in India, I'll see. Don't worry about that. I think I heard... Rakib Hassan, are you sure it's a filter? I mean, look at me. Bangladesh. Okay. Oh, you're from Bangladesh. Can you confirm a story? I just read that. Now I notice and realized why sometimes I get hiccups. Because I start the streaming usually after my dinner. So it makes sense. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to read that story again, Rocky. Confirm that if this is actually a common story. Stay here. Are you ready? So, there's a bus route in Dhaka that supposedly never shows up on GPS. Locals call it... Let me put on the music. It was really fitting. Locals call it Route 13. Late at night, when the streets are almost empty, some people say a completely silent bus pulls up beside them. The doors open on their own inside. Every seat is taken. But by people who don't move at all. They just stare straight ahead, pale-faced like mannequins. If you step inside, the driver never speaks. The bus starts moving faster and faster until the windows blur. Passengers who've escaped say the city outside looks wrong. Buildings stretch too tall. Roads looping back on themselves like the world is folding. The rule is simple. Don't look directly at the passengers. If you do, you'll notice they're not breathing. And if you try to get off the bus, the driver finally turns around. He only says one thing, but you're already home. So is it a common story there? Route 13 in Dhaka. I don't know. It just got removed. I didn't remove it, by the way. YouTube detects it and removes it. It is not my fault if YouTube detects it as wrong. And no, it's not a filter. Some people just got big heads. Maybe you never witnessed anyone like that. You know, dwarfs have big heads. Midgets. I'm basically a dwarf, so that's why it feels unreal to you. 6 likes. I think I'm gonna reach 20 likes today if you guys keep showing support. Oh, hold on a second. I forgot to do one thing almost. Almost. Excuse me. I apologize for coughing like that. Bad manners. Do you have any recommendations? Okay, 7. I always see one less, as you know. It's always the case. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I think the Bangladeshi guy left. I had to confirm the story. Eleanor, why are you suddenly number 3? You used to dominate. But you will dominate again anyways. You're very good at it. Let me read another story from Taka. Okay, I got another story. Auto drivers in Dhaka whisper about a woman who appears on Berrybad Road after midnight. They call her Pad Kuriye Felama. Pad Kuriye Felama. The road turning mother. Sometimes I just get confused if it's English or Bangla or Spanish. I just read it. If I'm speaking English, I'm gonna read everything like English. It just happens automatically. The road turning mother. Okay, so auto drive. Let me sum it up again. Auto drivers in Dhaka whisper about a woman who appears on Berrybad Road after midnight. They call her the road turning mother. Sounds interesting, right? She waves down a ride just like any normal passenger, face covered with her scarf. She always asks for the same place. Okay, so did you get what's happening here, Eleanor? It sounds pretty interesting. She waves down for a ride basically every single night, like a normal passenger, face covered with her scarf. And she always asks for the same place. Just drop me a little ahead. Yeah. But the problem is, no matter how far the driver takes her, she keeps repeating it. A little ahead, a little ahead, a little ahead. Yeah. Pretty scary. Until they notice something strange. The road behind them is always the same. Same broken lamppost, same tree, same empty tea stalls, same location. It never changes. It reminds me of a movie. Remember, Eleanor? A loop, basically. Drivers who try to look at her face in the mirror say they can't see anything, just a blur, like steam on glass. The few who survived claim the only way to escape is to stop the auto without warning and look straight at the road, never at her. Don't pay attention to her. If you turn, she climbs onto the roof and screams, a sound that cracks the air like metal tearing. By the time you dare to look back, she's gone. But the autometer keeps increasing, as if she's still riding with you. Okay, so you better not pay attention to her. Only then you'll feel that danger. You just gotta ignore. It's kinda interesting in my opinion. So, locals said they experienced it and there's a reality behind it. Of course, it's not real. They just say that to seek attention. 7 likes. I'm already gonna reach 10 very soon. Very soon. Yeah, I like it. It's very short. I kind of feel like reading a longer version of it. Let's see if some people joins. I'm going to read the longer version. Longer version of it. Let me read a detailed version of this. My mouse isn't working sometimes. Let me check the votes. 100% says, yes, I will reach 20 likes today. Let me check the top fans. Ishan 75, Ishan again 75, Eleanor 75, Mujahid 25. Not bad. Not bad. Not at all. I'm gonna read the detailed version of this one. Every city has a road people avoid at night in Taka. That road is very bad. Drivers say the air there changes after midnight. The atmosphere feels very eerie and dangerous to be in alone. Quieter than it should be. Darker than it should be. Even though there are so many city lights, still it looks darker, which makes no sense. As if the whole city holds its breath. Interesting. Can you imagine that city? It starts with rickshaw pullers, then auto drivers, and now even some bikers swear the same thing, that they saw that woman. It's not a made-up story. So they challenge it kind of, that this actually happens, it's not a made-up story. There's a woman who appears only when the road is almost empty. She always shows up when everything is empty. That's the scary part. She could be a crazy person. They call her Mother who turns the road back on itself. Makes no sense, that label. Mother who turns the road back on itself. What does it even mean? What does it even mean? I see a drop again. I don't like seeing drops. Yeah, I get it too. She folds the road. Oh, Yeah, right. She folds the road because it's like a U-turn, a loop, right? Maybe. By the way, can you like is the music very loud or too low? Yeah, exactly. So it creates a loop. I didn't even finish the story actually. I think your phone detects the music as noise. You sure about that? Then I'm gonna close it. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. I know that. Because usually I play the music on my phone and it doesn't detect it. Today I'm doing something different. Today I'm just using my speakers. I'm not using any device. Just to see how it goes, you know? So let's do this. She always, because I'm not using that external app. When you use the YouTube app, you can't add anything but this stupid filter. I can't add music. I can't show you slideshows. I can't show you clips. Basically, YouTube app is vanilla. But YouTube app allows a smooth experience. Like you're not gonna face any interruption, you know? Like with other apps, if something happens and if you have to close it, you gotta face a lot of mess to get back. But with YouTube, if I close it and open it again, it's just back smoothly, and I can see all the chats. With other apps, the chats are just removed, and it's not like you have to close it, but you know, you never know. You will see on other streams when they don't face that type of obstacles because of course my situation is different. But if somehow something happens, they have to take a lot of time to get back in. Even though you're seeing them, but they have to set things up and stuff, you know? YouTube app just directly captures it. You don't have to do anything. It's just simple as hell. External apps are just complicated. And I don't want to waste any time where people are waiting, you know, because I already have a low audience. So it's better if I don't waste any time. So she always stands under a half-lit lamppost. Half-lit lamppost, okay? Or by the a lot of different words. And I don't know if they're saying Bangla or English. Or by the parapet overlooking the water. Her scarf covers her face entirely, and she keeps her head slightly lowered, as if she's shy. Just enough to hide her expression, but enough to let you see she's waiting. It's like a very extreme version of hijab, right? But she's just like covering her face like a mummy. That's the difference. Drivers say she never waves. Frantic. What? Is that a typo? Okay, drivers say she never waves. Calmly. Just quietly lifts her hand. But she's always trying hard to seek your attention, hype her. But she's polite and respectful. Almost grateful that you stopped. The ghost is very grateful and polite. She sits in the back seat, never beside the driver. And her voice is always the same. So it's a ghostly behavior to not sit beside the driver, always the back seat. Reminds you of somebody, Eleanor? Always taking the big back seat. never beside, even though it's empty. Sounds familiar. Yeah, so you're a ghost. That's what I was aiming at. She sits in the back seat comfortably. She says she's comfortable there. Just drop me a little ahead, please. She says that. Soft, calm, almost too calm. Yeah, you're a ghost. Most of my audience, they're ghosts. So she softly always says that, just drop me ahead. Just drop me a little ahead, please. The endless ride. Most drivers say they don't notice anything odd at first. Berrybot is a long stretch. Dark, empty, repetitive, okay. Why are they describing it again? Repetitive, dark, silent, empty. So when she says a little ahead, you drive 5 minutes, then it becomes 10, then 15, and so on. And it never ends. Then she repeats it. A little ahead, please. And that's where it begins to sound a little creepy. By the way, if I talk a little bit lower like this, can you hear me loud and clear? I can actually check that out by myself. Lower like this, can you hear me loud and clear? I can actually check that out by myself. Okay, it's actually fine. Every time she says that phrase, drivers swear her voice gets quieter, almost like she's whispering from her okay. Every time she says the phrase, sorry I slipped out. Every time she says the phrase, drivers swear, her voice gets quieter and quieter, almost like she's whispering from far behind them. So the voice gets like a whispery voice, slowly. That sounds creepier this way. But the real horror begins when they start noticing the surroundings. No matter how far they go, the same things keep repeating. And everything keeps reappearing. A broken lamppost with wires sticking out, a tea stall with its shutters half down, a tall tree leaning over the railing, a torn poster of a missing girl flapping in the wind. Okay, a torn poster of a missing girl flapping in the wind. At first, drivers convince themselves they're imagining it. Berrybot looks similar everywhere, so it's possible. But then they check the meter. A trip that should have cost 60 taka suddenly shows 600, then 1,000, then more. And the woman's breathing becomes audible behind them. Slow, heavy breaths, like someone trying to hold back tears or rage. The mirror rule? Every driver who experienced it. Okay, so it's a common thing to experience there. Every driver who experienced her says the same thing. Every single one of them. So it can't be a coincidence that way. If it's a made-up story, how come every single driver says the similar story over and over again? And they swear by it. Never look at her in the rear view mirror, because the mirror doesn't show a woman sitting. It shows a silhouette, blurred, foggy, like someone made a smoke, and her head doesn't stay still. It moves in a tiny jerks, like she's trying to look up at the mirror, but something is forcing her down. One driver from Mirpur said he felt a cold hand on his shoulder the moment he tried to adjust the mirror. When he looked, she wasn't touching him, but her hand was just returning to her lap, as if she moved faster than he could notice. So whenever the driver feels she just put her hand, He looks and it's immediately like it's vanished, and she's sitting normally. So it's like she pulled her hands very quickly, pulled it back so quickly that the moment I look, it's gone from my shoulder. I think I can imagine this, what happened. But what happens if you look back? Let's find out. This is why you don't let strangers in your car. Yeah, we watch this in movies, right? If it's midnight and you're driving alone and there's a hitchhiker, maybe you have to analyze before giving her a lift. Okay, what happens when you look back? Some drivers make the mistake of turning around. Those are the ones who never finish their stories completely. They only say she lifts her face and her eyes are not where they're supposed to be. Her mouth stretches too wide, like a tear running from ear to ear. They say her hair hangs down but moves like it's underwater. She doesn't speak when you look at her. She screams. A shriek so sharp that windshield vibrates. Some say the auto shuts off, lights flicker, the road twists, bends, and shakes. That's where it sounds a little trippy, and I don't know if they're speaking the truth. And when they drive or wakes up, and when the driver wakes up, his back near the same broken lamppost where he started. Alone, engine cold, meter reading an impossible number like she rode with him for hours. The elders among drivers know the trick. If she says a little ahead, more than 3 times, stop the auto immediately. Don't run. Don't speak. Don't breathe loudly. Just get out. Walk 5 steps forward. Look at the road. Only the road, not anywhere else. If you do it right, the next blink will show you auto parked behind you, empty. If you do it wrong, you'll hear something climbing onto the roof, crawling, dragging itself, breathing above you, and then the scream. It sounds like a hypnotizing thing they do, and you feel like you just experienced a ghost. Okay. Maybe there's a logical explanation behind it. Somebody maybe drugs the driver, and they see things the entire time. Here's a like here's a theory. I don't know if it makes sense. To me, it makes kind of sense if they swore by it, like they experienced a woman very creepy. I think there's a teen, and they basically drug the driver, and then he sees thing. But why would they do that? Because they never said that they lost anything. Like, they didn't steal money or anything. So, it can't be a prank. It just makes no sense. Or maybe it's just a made-up story like every other urban legends. I don't believe this story is true. Me neither, but it's always fun to dig deep and have your own theories. Of course, there's a chance, but 99% of the time, they're all made up. 1% when I like hearing stories, yeah, and I like reading them. even alien abduction stories, even though I don't believe them. I don't believe them either. But realistically, if anything is possible, that's the concept of aliens. Because of course, witches, genies, monsters, zombies, they're really realistic too, if scientists can pull it up. Look up alien abduction stories, okay? But because there are so many other planets, it's possible there's some type of creatures out there. I'm not saying I believe it, but it's possible, like 10% chance. Alien. I don't know if it's an abduction story, but I found one. Let's confirm if it's creepy enough. But definitely, aliens are not like the ones we watch in movies, right? It's not. I think I look very muscular with the big head. Alien related stories that doesn't need to be about abductions. Yeah, let's find one. Everyone Everyone in the small town had heard of Miller's Field. Have you? Okay, everyone in the small town. Everyone in the small town had heard of Miller's Field, a flat stretch of land behind an old radio tower. Teens went there to drink, couples to hide, and strangers to get a clear view of the sky. But no one went there alone. Okay, so Miller's Field, a very popular place, and people do visit that place, that field, but never alone. Because of Ivan Marsh. He disappeared there one summer night when he was visiting that place alone. He had been out walking his dog, so he wasn't alone. The dog was with him. Again, the dogs are barking. He had been out walking his dog when neighbors heard a strange humming sound, like a generator warming up, but higher pitched, almost metallic. The dog was found the next morning, trembling, eyes wide, sitting in the middle of the field. Ivan wasn't. Okay, so he just got missing. Search parties combed the area. They found footprints, then suddenly no footprints, as if he'd stepped into thin air. So they found footsteps of him, but suddenly it disappears, like somebody or something, maybe a UFO or something, pulled him above the sky. After 4 days with no signs of him, the town held a memorial. On the fifth night, Ivan came back, but he wasn't the same. He walked into his own house at 2:43 a.m., completely silent. His clothes were the same ones he'd disappeared in, but perfectly clean. Not even dust on his shoes. Okay, I heard that story, I guess. Hello, small kid boy. Kid. My Turkish friend is back. So I'm reading a story already. I'm gonna finish it and start another one. His mother said he kept smiling too wide, too stiff, like someone pretending to mimic an expression they didn't understand. When she hugged him, she felt nothing. No warmth, no heartbeat. Doctors checked him. His pulse, unreadable. His eyes didn't react to light, and he never blinked. So he basically came back. But he was very strange. He behaved strange. He got no pulse. He didn't react to light. He never blinked. When police asked where he had been, he answered, underground. But then he corrected himself. No, not underground. No, not underground, under them. So he said underground, but then he said, no, not underground, under them. He never explained who they were. Okay. The real horror started after. People who lived near Iran said they saw strange things when he returned. Lights in the sky that moved in straight, sharp lines like they were scanning the ground. Animals freezing whenever Ivan walked by, as if listening to something humans couldn't hear. Radio static that formed whispered phrases when Ivan entered a room. And every night, exactly 2:43 a.m., the time he returned, Ivan would wake up, walk outside, and stare directly at Miller's field. One night, his mother followed him. She said he was whispering something under his breath. At first, she thought it was sleep talking. Then she realized he wasn't whispering words. He was repeating coordinates over and over. The next morning, Ivan was gone again. Footprints leading into the field, then suddenly it stopped. Just like before, as if he flew away. His mother kept his bedroom door open for months. The bed stayed perfectly made. No dust gathered. The air always felt slightly charged like static before lightning. Locals say that on some nights, if you go to Miller's field, you can still hear that strange hum in the sky and see a faint silhouette of a tall figure standing in the middle of the field. Some swear it looked human. Others say the legs are too long. People found out strange results Googling it, and a few claim that when you get too close, your phone starts showing the same coordinates, even whispered. The ones he never came back from. Okay, it's pretty interesting actually. Okay, let's see, what did you say? Pet your puppy for me. Whose puppy? I don't even have a puppy. Oh, she doesn't have a puppy. Alright, just send a pet to each of them for me, please. I heard Turkey loves cats, right? You're gonna see cats all over the place. Is that true? Because that's what I saw in videos. How many likes I got? 8? Ocho? I think so. Oh, I noticed another thing. I'm not gonna say a pattern, but a lot of times, my previous streams, I was like begging. Like I was seeing some audience, but they were not saying anything. I said, say anything. You don't have to comment long. Just say hi. Anything. And they never did that. I don't know if you noticed that hour. I did that a few times, but not recently. I did that previous lives. And now I realize what happened. They were watching my stream on TV. And of course, when you're watching videos on TV, you're not commenting, you're not using the keyboard. Maybe some can, so, but most people won't bother to do that, you know? So yeah, I noticed that's what's happening. Like somebody is just watching, not saying anything. Even when I said say something, they're not. They're usually watching on TV. And that's great. My friend confirmed it yesterday that he saw my streams on TV. I feel good that people watching my videos on TV too, even though it's not that many, but still it matters to me. It matters to me. I buffered. No, you can comment if you're plugged in your keyboard, you know? If you treated that, but when you're watching TV, you're not in the mood to write anything, of course. I buffered again. Okay, let me read what my Turkish buddy said. Yeah, I live at a street, and when I head outside, every time there's a leather chair in front of an apartment, and there's a orange white cat that is there all the time, getting pets and food all the time. You hear that, Eleanor? Turkish people love to treat cats. They basically treat them as if they're humans, and that's very good. Somebody said no. They don't treat cats like normal animals. Probably it's like if I let's say if I abuse a cat in front of a Turkish person, they're gonna view it as a brutal crime, and they should. Of course, everybody should. I'm just giving an example. Like it's very sinful to them. You know why I buffered? Eleanor, can you guess why I buffered? I watched those videos where they show street cats, they get treated well. Yeah. And you're gonna find them in shops as well. That's what I heard. Someone went to the toilet. Exactly. My haunted bathroom. I mean, there's memes on cats sitting on security booth tables as if they were the security. Yeah, exactly, I watched those. But you ever witnessed anything like that? Where cats are like being very leader-like, king-like, sitting, not even moving as like they don't care about humans. They're ruling the place, dominating as if it's their own. I see 3 people and 8 likes. Let me see if I can make a friend join the stream. And people pet them. Yeah, I've seen those. Here there are cats in drugstore. That's very specific. But still I like it. Of course I like it. Now I see 4. I'm gonna read the story again. No, another time. maybe. Let me read an urban legend from Turkey. What do you say? In your town, yeah, I get it. In your town. Oh, wait a second, let me check the Wi-Fi switch again, just in case it buffers. Don't go, I'll be back. I'm back. Let me read. What did you say? I hope I didn't take too long. The addition of our cats. There's also grandmas watching the street, giving you water and helping you. And I tell you, those grandmas are a perfect source of a specific street. Yes, read an urban legend from Turkey, please. I say, those grandmas have great stories too. Wish the newer gens were like me. Now they just act like they are a type of mafia, where I dress up like an average teen and act nice. Being nice is a skill these days, when it's supposed to be very common. Okay, I will read an urban legend from Turkey soon. I think Eleanor had to go for a while, so I'll wait. I'll wait. So, where do you locate exactly in Turkey? I'm just waiting for more people to join. I'm just waiting for more people to join me. I'm gonna invite a friend. Let's see if he comes again. He will join, I know. Hello, whoever joined. Let me read that story again. But with a creepypasta voice. In some neighborhoods, people warn the kids not to answer when someone calls their name. From outside the house at night, it started with a girl who heard her mother calling her name. I'm waiting for Kid, are you still here? I hope you are. I hope you're still here. I got 8 votes. 8 votes is a lot for me, especially when I just started. I'm just doing it since an hour. Just an hour. Okay, so Tony is here. I was here before you sent me anything. It popped up on my YouTube. Okay, I hope it's not on TV again, because my head gonna appear too big. I already read like 4 stories, and they were all interesting. If you have your own, you can actually share. Personally, you can share. I'm gonna read them some other time. I'm about to make some tea for myself, actually. Thank you for joining, brother. Your light means a lot. How was your work today? And since when you were here? Like, the stream is only already an hour long. Sometimes I cannot see a lot of comments. YouTube just detects it as hate comment and they remove it. You don't have to remove it, I'm not that sensitive. I can take it. Now I see 4. I'm paranoid. If I leave to make tea, I'm gonna lose some audience. Maybe I should read another story once I see more people. Nine likes so far. Just one more to reach 10. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. 75 minutes. Okay, so I've been streaming for 75 minutes. That's not bad. The goal is to do it for at least 3 hours. People say that if you're walking alone near an old apartment block and your phone suddenly fills with static, don't stop. Keep moving. Years ago, a repairman died while fixing electrical lines on the roof of one such building. Now, whenever someone passes after midnight, their phone signal crackles, and a tall, thin silhouette appears at the top floor windows. If you look up, you'll see him standing there, head tilted, body twitching like a bad TV signal. He doesn't move at first, he just watches. But the real danger is the second time your phone crackles, that's when he's no longer in the window. He's right behind you. Interesting one. I'm glad that my stream popped up on your on your YouTube, on your TV. This means YouTube is taking my stream as a good stream to recommend. That's what I want. That's what I want. Somebody subscribed. Somebody subscribed. Whoever subscribed, thank you very much. It means a lot to me. 'Let's see what happens now. I think it's gonna show me the number 0 now. But I think it's impossible to show the number 0 because I'm 1 and my view counts. What the hell? That's great. It's 0. It's 0. I'm gonna make some tea for myself very quickly. What the hell? So I'm gonna make some tea now. I'll try to be very quick because YouTube doesn't like that. When there's a stream, but it's silent. It takes it as if I'm abusing the platform. So I'm going to make some tea. Okay? Don't leave me. Don't leave me. $20 likes, that's all I want today. Just 20. I'm gonna be right back. and then leave for a few seconds only. I'm gonna be right back. And then leave for a few seconds only. What just happened? I was scared for a second. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the guitar here as the host of the stream. The guitar as the host of the stream. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. The guitar was the host. I just put my guitar to seek some attention while I was gone. I got my ginger tea. Cheers. Yesterday, when you were gone, and I wasn't having any audience for a while, And I was reading a creepy story playing the guitar and it felt so stupid. And it doesn't go, of course. Okay, so I think my friend's small kid boy left. Recommend me a story. I'm going to read it. Now it's just you and me. I'm waiting for another person to arrive. A cult story, right? Let me read a cult story then. First, I'm gonna read the short version, and if it's good, I will read the long version. There's an old building on the edge of the town that nobody uses anymore. Let's read. There's an old building on the edge of town that nobody uses anymore. Most of it is empty. Broken windows, peeling paint, rats. There's an old building on the edge of town that nobody uses anymore. Most of it is empty. Broken windows, peeling paints, and rats. This is kind of random. Except for one room. On the third floor, on the end of the hallway, there's a single wooden door with no handle, just keyhole. Makes sense. There are rats cause it's dirty. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah. People say that's where a small cult met back in the 90s. They called themselves the Quiet Ones. They believed the world would end when the loudest voice finally wakes. Whenever, okay, whatever that meant. I'm gonna read it again because I got the idea. I'm gonna visualize. But I don't see anyone. See that? That's the risky part. Whenever they see some emptiness, YouTube doesn't recommend the show live stream anymore, thinking that I'm abusing the platform. But I just went for like 2 minutes. There's an old building on the edge of town that nobody uses anymore. Most of it is empty, broken windows, peeling paints, rats, except for one room. On the third floor, at the end of the hallway, there's a single wooden door with no handles, just a keyhole. People say that's where a small cult met back in the 90s. They called themselves the Quiet Ones. They believed the world would end when the loudest voice finally wakes, whatever that meant. According to legend, the cult final ritual happened inside that room. 30 members walked in. None walked out. Okay, this part is very scary. According to the legend, the cult final ritual happened inside that room. 30 members walked in, none walked out. Means they're probably dead. When police arrived, the door was locked from the inside, but when they broke it open, the room was completely empty. No bodies, no windows, no second exit. Sounds creepy so far. 9 votes. Just one thing on the floor. A circle made of ash with 31 sets of footprints around it. Just one thing on the floor. A circle made of ash, okay? But what type of ash? With 31 sets of footprints around it. Seems like somebody was burned down. 30 members, 1 extra. After that, building was closed. But at night, locals say you can hear strange things if you press your ear to the door. Are you getting what's happening so far? After that, the building was closed. But at night, locals say you can hear strange things if you press your ears to the door. Faint chanting, slow footsteps circling the room, a whisper that sounds like someone right behind the door breathing against the wood. Some people tried looking through the keyhole. They all said the same thing. They saw an eye staring back. A single eye, unmoving, perfectly open. As if whoever is in that room never blinks. And here's the worst part. And here's the worst part. Wait a second. Every person who looked through the keyhole later reported seeing the same eye in mirrors, windows, even car reflections, just for a split second, like it's still watching them. Okay? The ending was pretty creepy. After you peek through the keyhole, you see an eye, which is never blinking. And then you keep seeing that eye wherever you go. And it's a true story, by the way. It definitely is. I'm waiting for somebody to say something. What the cult's called? Let me read the name again. The Quiet something. The Quiet Ones. That's the cult. The Quiet Ones. Because the room is always empty. Nobody's there. Just a keyhole exists. Nobody saw ever who's inside. And they start their rituals during the midnight always. People who follow in cult and leading the cult, I don't know what type of brain they have. They're definitely crazy. There was a cult called Heaven's Gate. You can look it up if you want. It's pretty interesting. I definitely want to read that one if I get some more audience. So far, how many views I got? Remember earlier today I told you that after an hour I notice a drop. YouTube stops reaching new people. And that's the limitation. I'm sure about that now. I started around 2 a.m. here. Now it's 3:32 and it dropped. Sure, some people, most people can leave, but it gotta reach some people. Now it completely stopped reaching. After an hour, it's over. Every now and then it gonna reach 1 or 2 person, and that's it. I'm kinda confirmed now. That's the pattern. 147 views so far. And the peak happens during the first hour, and then it ends. YouTube gotta manage these things, because there's too many creators out there. They can't give everyone the same reach. Now I'm gonna have like 3, 4 max like this. I'm not gonna see a huge bump. How many likes can you see now? 10? Again 10. Yesterday it was 10. Today 10 again. This is gonna be the average, it seems. But today I reached 10 little quickly. Very little quickly. Not that quickly. Just quickly. I'm actually feeling a little hot, so I'm gonna turn on the fan. Okay, the cult is called Heaven's Gate. You confirm if that's the right one, okay? I'm gonna check first before reading it out loud. Was it in 1997? Is it around that? 1997. After the Heaven's Gate mass death in 1997, the house they lived in was cleaned, sold, and eventually demolished. But locals in the area whispered that something didn't disappear with the building. Okay, so that's the one. They say that late at night, when the air is still and the sky is clear, old radios in the neighborhood pick up a faint signal, a soft hiss followed by a voice repeating the same phrase. "We left one behind." That's the phrase. We left one behind. People chalk it up to interference, an artifact left over wiring under the ground. Except one night, a ham radio hobbyist named Colin recorded the signal. When he played it back, he realized the voice wasn't on any known frequency. The transmission came from inside his own house. But that's not the story of that cult. That's after they killed themselves. Oh! So I'm reading the post story. So let me find the pre one. Okay. I'm gonna see that. Tomorrow I'm gonna use the external software again, and while reading I'm gonna show the slideshow. Sometimes I need to. But during the stream, things are pretty raw. Like, when I'm reading stories, I'm stopping, I'm pausing. When I make videos and short, I edit them out and make it one smooth read. But people are smart, they understand the difference between live stream and direct videos. So okay, I'm gonna read the post story. I mean pre-story. The actual story. A bald guy. He looked crazy. Now you confirm if this is the right one. Heaven's Gate was a small religious cult led by Marshall Applewhite. Confirm if that's the one. Marshall Applewhite. And Bonnie Nettles. Okay, so I got the correct one. Heaven's Gate was a small religious cult led by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles in the 1970s. They believed that Earth was about to be recycled and that human bodies were just vessels. Their ultimate goal was to leave their earthly forms and ascend to a higher plane. Aboard a spaceship they believed was following the Hale-Bopp comet in 1997. Crazy people. Cult people are crazy people. I want to beat them up. Do you believe that cult people are actually mentally ill? It's not the beliefs. They're mentally ill. To believe something bizarre, you have to be... Yeah, I do. To some people, it sounds like they're just religious. They're following the religion or their beliefs. They have faith. But in my opinion, they are mentally ill. To believe something bizarre, you gotta be mentally ill, man. I don't buy any logic here. You have to be mentally ill. Yeah, exactly. This story is pretty old, but still, it's a modern era. How can you believe something so... I don't have the words to describe the situation. You believe mildly something, that's different, but you are committed that you cause death. You have to be mentally ill to do that. Remember that, of course you do remember. But, for example, the movie we watched, Martyrs, they're definitely following a cult. It's a cult movie in my opinion. They're following a cult. Midsommar, that's I don't know how to categorize them. It's not like Midsommar. Midsommar was pure cult-based horror movie, but Martyrs, how do you... Like, what's the genre? It's horror, of course, but can you call it a cult horror movie? Like, it's cult-based? Because they never explained it like it's a cult or anything. They acted like scientists and stuff. But yeah, I think it's in that genre, right? It's a cult movie. They just they just showed it in a different fashion, but it's a cult. Definitely, that's a cult. That seems pretty realistic to me, and that's why I like it. Great movie, by the way. So, members lived very strict, isolated lives. They gave up family, friends, and positions for this cult, adopted new names, and wore matching clothing, followed Applewhite's instructions completely, believing he communicated directly with higher beings, maintained a strict diet, exercise, and detachment from worldly pleasures. Imagine being a member of that cult. Yes, they were a cult kinda, even though they didn't have religious beliefs. No, I think that was little religious because they wanted to see what's after death. Like, they were curious about hereafter. So that's automatically a religion. I once read about a cult where they force the members to practice incest, because the leader believes sexual attraction should never have a rule. You can apply that to anyone, and that's ethical. I watched an entire video, and he seems very perverted because you can label him as anything, anything. He thinks you don't need any consent. You can like woman. You don't need woman's permission. His belief, so he's a rapist, of course. And there's no age limit. There's no legal age. So he was basically a pedophile, a rapist, everything, that cult leader. And an incest freak, of course. So basically he was everything. And I think he was arrested later. But he was a fucked up person, and I think he was using his fetishes, like he was using the cult to basically fulfill his fetishes. That's it. His fantasy. Like he was living his fantasy. They had a rule. The group came first and individually was supposed to maintain spiritual purity. Over the years, rumors spread in local towns where they lived. Neighbors described them as eerily quiet, extremely polite, almost robotic. People noticed that the cult never showed emotions like anger or joy, and members always seemed to be traveling together in identical clothing like twins and hairstyles. Some local legends grew out of this: cars full of pale, identical looking people. Okay, some local legends grew out of this: cars full of pale, identical looking people driving across states. Strange names and symbols on the cars. And whispers of a space mission that only a few understood. They basically acted like aliens. Nerdy aliens. By the mid-90s, the group had retreated to a mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, California. They prepared for what they called the next level believing. Their physical bodies needed to be abandoned to board the spacecraft trailing to the comet. Okay, so they were like preparing to leave the planet. They believed aliens. A cult believed aliens. That's a weird combo. And they were polite. They used to dress the same. Well, they never showed anger. They used to have the same hairstyles. Their cars got the same symbols. Pretty robotic, and they were like trying to impress the aliens. I'm sure if your brother heard that story, he would be very freaked out. I'm just waiting for another person to join. Today I got a lot of views compared to the likes in short time. I finished my tea, by the way. Oh, I finished my tea. I'm gonna chew a raw ginger piece. It's kind of spicy and bitter at the same time. Oh man. It tastes too weird for some reason. It's not like I never have ginger. I do, but this ginger, I don't know if it's bad. I should read another story. Okay, I'm gonna find out that person. I recommend... I don't recommend actually. You don't have to chew raw ginger. It's not necessary. Oh, I think I've seen this guy. I definitely... Is this guy? Eleanor? Okay, so this is the guy. His head is way too big for his body. See that? Yeah, he definitely looks crazy. But he just believed in aliens. There was another leader, by the way. His partner, Bonnie Nettles. Let's see how she looks. Have you seen her? Or just him? Marshall Applewhite. How did they kill themselves? Yeah, I'm gonna find it out. So his partner looks like a nurse. Bonnie. Look at them. Heaven's Gate survivors. They are the survivors. Okay. Let's find out how did they kill themselves. She looks high. I think there's another thing, and it actually makes sense. I think most cult people are actually high. They do drugs, don't they? Man really gone. She looks high, definitely high. I think most cult people are crazy and they do drugs. On the top of it, they do drugs. So it just combines and makes them a different being. They feel mentally gone. Right, exactly, mentally gone. YouTube should allow us to edit the comments. I mean, stream comments, don't you think? But they don't. Let's find out how did they die. Okay. Are you ready to know how... I thought you already know the story. Okay. Alright, be right back. I was having so many audience, all of a sudden it dropped. After an hour, it usually happens for some reason. So I read so many stories today. Thank you very much, whoever dropped a like. I think I know. I think I know who. Eleanor just left, so I'm gonna continue the story once she's back. Marshall. So Marshall Applewhite, the cult leader, died along with the other members during the Heaven's Gate mass suicide in March 1997. He followed the same method as the rest of the group, ingesting a lethal mix of barbiturates with alcohol and placing a plastic bag over his head. He was among the 39 people who died, fully participating in what the group believed was a transition to the next level. Delusional idiot, that's what he was. I'm waiting for more people to join. More people to join? I think I should try streaming during the daytime once. I think I did, but it wasn't even... It was like early in the morning, so I don't know if I should count that. Like after an hour, sun will rise. Let's see how many. 11 likes. What type of name is that? What type of name is that? Ugh. I'm waiting for some people to join. Marshall Applewhite, the cult leader, died along with the other members during the Heaven's Gate. He followed the same method as the rest of the group, ingesting a little mix of barbiturate. It was among the 39 people. Okay, so I just found the reason behind it. So Marshall Applewhite, the cult leader, died along with the other members during the Heaven's Gate mass suicide in March 1997. They all suicide together, and the leader himself believed whatever they believed. He wasn't like manipulating anyone. He believed what he told everyone, that there is a higher level. He followed the same method as the rest of the group, ingesting a lethal mix of barbiturates with alcohol and placing a plastic bag over his head. He was among the 39 people who died, fully participating what the group believed was a transition to the next level. Can I sing it like a as if it's a musical movie, like a Disney song? Marshall Applewhite, the cult leader, died along with other members during the Heaven's Gate Mass. He followed the same method the rest of the crew, ingesting a lethal mix of toxic with a plastic bag over his head. It doesn't rhyme, of course. He was among the 39 people who died, fully participating in what the group believed was a transition to next level. It doesn't rhyme. But I can't visualize what happened exactly. What is barbiturate with alcohol? I don't know the substance. And placing a plastic bag over his head. Have you seen the process, like in videos? So you didn't. But can you imagine what happened exactly? Yeah. Called Twin Souls. Let me try to find an image. Okay, let me read another story. Another cult. The cult story recently I watched, I don't know if I should read that because it got a lot of vulgar words. And I don't believe YouTube's censorship. Like which word it gonna censor, you know? I'm still getting used to it. Ten votes. 80% said yes. 20% said no. Are you telling me the 20% gonna be right today? Outrageous. Outrageous. I'm gonna read an urban legend I was trying to read for a while. From Argentina. Are you ready, Eleanor, to read an urban legend from your country, from your city? In Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires. In Buenos Aires, there's an old building called La Casa Matusita. I should say it like Spanish person would say, Spanish speaking, I mean. La Casa Matusita. In Buenos Aires, there's an old building called La Casa Matusita, famous for its dark history and terrifying reputation. Locals say it's cursed. Anyone who enters risks disappearing or going insane. The legend goes, decades ago, a series of gruesome murders and suicides occurred in that house. La Casa Matusita. Hakuna Matata. Reminds me of that. Rumor has it that a woman killed her. Huh? Decades ago, a series of gruesome murders and suicides occurred in the house. Rumor has it that a woman killed her entire family. Okay, there before taking her own life. Since then, people claim the house rejects intruders. Do you know the story, by the way, Lorena? Do you? Strangers who pass by at night report. I never heard of that. Seeing shadowy figures moving behind the windows even though the building is empty. Hearing children laughing or crying in hallway with no lights. Feeling suffocating cold near the front door. Taxi drivers refuse to go near the building at night. Paranormal investigators who entered the house claim they heard whispers telling them to leave before it's too late. And the moment famous part, many swear that if you step inside, the house changes its layout. Hallways stretch impossibly long, doors vanish, and stairs lead nowhere, as if the building itself is alive. Even today, the building is mostly abandoned, but tourists and locals still dare each other to approach it. Some say if you listen closely, you can hear the faint echoes of the tragedies that happened there. It's a building what's commonly known by the entire country. The name is La Casa Matusita. La Casa Matusita. Let's Google that, shall we? In Buenos Aires. In Buenos Aires, La Casa Matusita. What does Matusita mean, by the way? Okay, it looks pretty beautiful. La Casa Matusita, yeah, exactly. It doesn't look that bad, but it looks like a normal two-floor building. La Casa Matusita. La Casa Matusita. Oh, hold on a second. There's a movie. There's a movie about it. Secreto Matusita. Mamacita. I can find that out. I think nobody dared to take pictures indoor, but that's the indoor. See that? It looks pretty haunted, if you ask me. Pretty haunted. Like an old house. For some reason, I like this type of atmosphere, and I kind of feel like visiting these. No idea why. But come on, it looks interesting. I want to sit right here and have some coffee while streaming. If I come to Argentina and if they allow to get inside, I want to go there and stream shortly or film something. Anything, I'll just make a content out of it. For sure. Macasa La Tusita. Okay. That's a pretty interesting story. And there's a movie too. I have no idea. I think the movie gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, interessante. We should watch the movie, yeah, exactly. La Casa Matusita. Let's read another story about La Casa Matusita. Oh, a chilling legend is that the house itself changes its interior by itself. Nobody ever admitted that they did it. They have no idea what happened. Hallways stretch longer than physically possible, doors vanished, and staircases appear leading to nowhere. Visitors often report feeling lost even though they walked the same path before, and the house feels like a maze. And some claim that the house traps them for hours before releasing, as if the house is having fun with the tourist. The concept is so fun. Yeah, exactly. And it's not a fake story, by the way. It's not an urban legend. Tourists, they visit this house every time they visit Argentina, and they they basically told the reporters that. Do you think every single tourist are lying? I'm reading some tourist experiences. Another one. Even today, tourists who dare to approach La Casa Matsuita claim to hear children laughing or crying, shadows moving behind boarded up windows, or the faint smell of smoke. Some say taking photos or filming inside results in blurry faces appearing in the images, even when no one else was present. It's a very fun and creepy experience for most of the tourists, and the challenge to enter, and they swear that you're gonna experience something in La Casa Matusita. Okay, it's very interesting. I'm getting curious to visit. If it was here, I would definitely check. But don't visit that house alone ever. If you make your friend agree with you, if she's interested, only then go. No, actually, don't even go. Don't go. Why the hell I chewing up ginger again? Another one. There are so many short stories covering it. It's actually pretty big thing, but ghosts don't exist. Still, maybe some creep out there. You know Scooby-Doo? Maybe some creep out there doing all these just to scare the tourists and and make it sound like a haunted house, but it's not. The interior is always getting tidy up and everyone says they didn't do it. Who's tidying this up? Who's cleaning the floors? Of course there are employees, but they're just trying to make it sound like a haunted house, you know? Of course people are doing things just to make it very, very interesting. Scooby-Doo shit. Suddenly, the view dropped. Casa La Tusita. Very interesting. Another story covering this house. So basically a woman killed her. I'm still here. Yeah, you're still here, but I cannot see how many views you're seeing. How many views you're seeing? One. It's supposed to be 2. But maybe it's 3. But we are seeing 1. I'm here, you're here. So at least they're gonna show 2, right? Where's your cat now? After eating, she probably left. I see 3. See that? It was showing wrong. Don't do that, YouTube. It hurts my feelings. She's outside. Tell her to join the stream. That's gonna give me 1 more view. That's gonna give me 1 more view. If she joins now. If she joins now. How many subscribers I have? Today I didn't get any subscribers with her own phone. You know, today's cats, they do know how to use a phone. I've seen videos where the cat is scrolling up and down. Isn't it interesting? I mean, I know your cat is a little uninterested when it's about tech. She doesn't care about it at all. She doesn't even watch the TV. She's a serious human being. She's not a cat. She's a serious human being. She thinks she should not waste her time on tech. You know? I feel like filming her and take interviews. And then translate her meows. Because she meows a lot. So of course she talks a lot. And this house is also known as the shape-shifting house. How would you say this in Spanish? Shape-shifting house. Casa is house. Shape-shifting house. How would you say that in Spanish? Come on. Shape. How do you say shape in Spanish? Shape-shifting house. I'm gonna Google Translate then. Let me see. Google Translator. Google Translate. Translate. Shape-shifting house. Casa que cambia de forma. Casa que cambia de forma. Is it correct? Casa que cambia de forma. Casa que. Why am I saying like que? In Spanish you say que. Casa que cambia de forma. Depending what language I speak, my voice also changes. The pitch changes. I noticed it. Casa que cambia de forma. I'm not gonna say Spanish this way. If I say Spanish properly, it's gonna go a little higher pitched. Casa que cambia de forma. That's how. Okay. But it's too long. If I have to name it, I would name it Casa de los Muertos. Casa de... Shape-shifting is cooler term. Yeah, that's true. That's a very cool term. Visitors often feeling lost, even if they walked the same path before. It's hard to find the bathroom, and even if they find it, They don't feel like going inside just in case they get trapped in the bathroom. Yeah, it's not catchy. Ma casa la tusita is very catchy. That's more like a... Let's see another one. Now I'm gonna read a true story. A true crime story. El petiso orejudo, I forgot how to say that. J. In Spanish, the J is not like that. Orejudo. Or whatever. Okay, I just got a text. Like a H. Okay, like a H. H. I buffered. I know. And I buffered. I know. And you know why. I'm so fortunate. For unnecessary issues, I have to lag. Because of things that nobody can relate to. Bathroom switch is connected with the router switch. I mean, come on. It's haunted itself. It's a scary shit, in my opinion. Because it makes no sense. And I lost views. Immediately. El petizo orejudo. Petizo. Petizo. Okay, wait a second. Petiza. Is that the word? Petite? Let me read the story. Okay? Are we ready? But first, let's confirm if I'm still lagging or not. Am I lagging? Am I still lagging? I'm still lagging? No. Okay, I'm not lagging now. That's fine. I'm not lagging now. So I'm about to read the story. Okay. I'm not lagging, but I don't see anyone. Somebody please join. Okay. I got 12 likes. You probably seen 13. In the early 1900s, Buenos Aires was terrorized by a Caetano Santos Godino. Caetano. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Caetano. Or Caetano. What is that name? Cayeetano. Caetano. Or Satano. Satano sounds like Satan. Whatever, though, I'm gonna call him Santos. Santos Godino. In the early 1900s, Buenos Aires was terrorized by a killer called Santos Godino. The name, Caetano Santos Godino. Caetano. Nickname, El Petiso Orejudo, the big-eared short man. Okay, so he was a dwarf. Santos. Not Santos. Santos Godino. His nickname was El Petiso Orejudo. So I was correct. I'm proud of my Spanish. I think I speak better Spanish than you sometimes. He was a small, quiet boy by day. Okay, so he was a young guy. He was a young lad. But a cold-blooded killer by night. Okay, so during the daytime he was a quiet boy, but a cold-blooded killer by night. Between 1906 and 1912, he murdered at least 4 children and attempted to kill many others, earning a reputation as one of Argentina's first documented serial killer, a shorty with a knife. What the hell? The legend goes that Godino didn't just kill, he haunted neighborhoods even after his capture. Locals claim that children playing in empty streets at night would hear tiny footsteps following them, a faint laugh with a high eerie pitch, a shadowy figure with protruding ears watching from doorways. Oh, so you heard about him, Godino, the petite killer. Why would you name something cute? He's a killer. You don't have to call him Petiso, right? Why would you call a killer Petiso? Why would you call a killer Petiso or Petisa? It just ruined my mood that they keep giving the killers cute or cool. Something cool. Imagine if they made a, oh, okay, they said they did a documented, like, but they didn't make a movie. So imagine if they made a movie out of him. They're gonna hire Tom Holland maybe because Tom Holland is pretty short. The the legend goes that Godino just actually we just read it. Sure. Parents warned their children not to go out alone, saying that if you did, El Petizo Ojudo could appear at any moment and drag you into the shadows. Okay, so he was trying to appear as something spiritual, like a spooky character. Even after Godino died in prison in 1944, some claim to see a short, large-eared man lurking near playgrounds, always watching, never speaking. Others say that on stormy nights you could hear the echo of his laugh in abandoned alleyways, like a warning to misbehaving children. So later on they used his name to scare the children. The legend became so widespread that even today some Buenos Aires kids whisper about him as a cautionary tale, and his story appears in horror anthologies and urban legend collections in Argentina. Okay, let me check. I am the Petiso. Can't you see my dwarf-like head? Let me check this killer's face. What's his name again? El Petizo Ojudo. Ojudo! Sounds like Japanese. Ojudo! What the hell? He is a killer? No. He actually looks like a killer. He doesn't look normal. I mean, look at him. Look at his head, his ears. Of course, if I saw him for the first time ever without even knowing his story, I would be saying this. This kid right here gonna be a killer someday. He's a potential killer. Look at his cold eyes. Look at his monkey ears. Look at his... I mean, the buzz cut is normal, but he is a killer. If his mother didn't announce him as a killer, that my kid gonna be a killer, his mother is a stupid one. Absolute killer-like face. I mean, look at him. I don't feel any sympathy. Some faces appear that way. When you look at them, instantly you're like, this is a son of a bitch. I mean, no mercy in his face. It feels like he wanna eat everyone, don't you think? I mean, look at him. What the hell? You know what? I decided I'm gonna make a video about him. Just because I hate how he looks. That's it. And I'm gonna read long stories about him, but I'm not gonna make the video too long. This is not my style. I just love to make things compact so that people watch the entire video. Okay, that's the documentary. And they picked this actor. Look at the actor's face. Look at the head. But he doesn't look that bad. He looks okay. He looks like an idiot, but nothing dangerous. He looks kinda similar. Maybe you recognize the actor. You've seen him. I see 3 people now. From 12, 13, now I have just 3. Demotion and demotivating. But the show must go on. Ten votes. You don't recognize the actor? I thought you did. But do you recognize the killer? You probably... Oh, you already said that you heard about him. Now I see 4 people. I think it's getting better. Slowly. I've read too many stories today. Actually, I'm reading around 10 stories every single day, it seems. I don't count. I never count. But I want to make my streams 4 hours on an average. 4 hours. Sometimes I have to end it before it reaches that threshold, but it's okay. The target, I need 8 more likes. 8. Let me find another story. Any recommendations, everyone? Let me read another true crime story. Let me read from
Which country? These days, things are very easy to research, because we have AI. Ah. I see 4 now. Let's read another one. Let's see. I'm very interested to read this one. It's an American. Most true crime stories I ever find is from the United States for some reason. Is it the most? Yeah, it is. It is. There's no question. Without a shadow of a doubt, the most amount of serial killers are born in the United States. Tell me if I'm wrong. Whenever I research, and if I get 10 stories, at least 7 out of 10 is all American. Why is that? Why? I have no idea. There's a serial killer. Who? 11 votes and 4 views now. From 20 to 4. Other 16 went to sleep. Called John Wayne Gacy Killer Town. Let me research about it. First, let me read whatever I got, and then I'm gonna read about him. You can tell the name again later, not now. Okay. In 1972, a California man named Bill Stoneham painted a work called The Hands Resist Him. It shows a boy standing in front of a glass door with dozens of hands pressing against the other side. Can you imagine the scenario? That art? In 1972, a Californian man named Bill Stoneham painted a work called The Hands Resist Him. The Hands Resist Him. It shows a boy standing in front of a glass door with dozens of hands pressing against the other side. I can visualize that. Decades later, the painting became infamous online. Not because of the artist, but because of its haunted reputation. The story begins when a couple purchased the painting on eBay in 2000. Shortly after bringing it home, they reported strange occurrence. I'm speaking a little low because I realize that's enough. I don't have to shout. Every single mic I ever bought, I think my phone's mic is better than them. It's weird. But I'm gonna talk about the mics later. The story begins when a couple purchased. Okay, the boy and the doll in the painting would move slightly overnight. Hands seemed to change position as if trying to reach out. Family members experienced nightmares and sudden panic attacks whenever the painting was nearby. Some say the painting was cursed. Others claim it was the manifestation of a dark spirit attached to the canvas. The couple eventually returned it, but online forums still debate whether the painting itself is alive or simply a magnet for tragedy. Interesting. It sounds true, like it happened, but of course there's a science behind it. What do you think about the story, Eleanor? The hands resist him. Yeah, it's interesting. Let me get some more water because I'm an aquaholic. Is there a picture? Yeah, there is. Let me find. The hand resistant. The hand resistant. Let me find it. How many likes, by the way? $13. Right? Let me find that. Bill Stoneham. I got it. 13 likes. So this is the painting. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen this painting. Do you see? There's a doll behind him and there's so many hands behind him. 7 more likes I need. That's the picture. This is the picture. Do you see it, Eleanor? Do you see it? So this is... Look at his head. It's so big. Everyone. What'd you get? The painting, knowing it's probably haunted. First of all, I don't believe these BS, of course. And yes, I would. Absolutely. But it's not even a cool art in my opinion. Like, if I ever buy an artwork, it needs to be cool enough to get my attention. Just because it looks a little creepy doesn't mean it's cool. And they are pretty expensive. So I wouldn't spend so much money on a meaningless artwork, you know? Instead, I would have my own artwork. And as a teen, I did that. I used to draw, but I never hung them. For some reason, I didn't have enough space to hang any artwork, so I used to just put that on my desk. I used to make short arts, not too big like a poster. I didn't have big walls. Now I do, but the hobby's gone. So, time for story number 2. Did I finish this story, by the way? I did. I just got a comment. Bubbly Couch Surfer. Oh my god, hi! I'm in your messenger group. Yeah, you were. Dude, your videos you posted on there and your werewolf when you see your kid was insane. Thank you very much. And you even remember a video. Real audience right there. It feels good to see somebody who've been watching me for a while, you know? I've been making videos since a couple of years. And when I get remembered by somebody, it makes me like, okay, everything I'm doing is worth it. I watched 3 of them. Thank you very much. Even if you watch few seconds of one of my videos means a lot. Especially when you like them. I think this is your first time on my stream, right? You have your own channel as far as I remember. I did check your videos out too, and I used to approve your all videos. They're great. Your name is so catchy that I instantly recognized. Bubbly Couch Surfer. We both are horror content creators. Gracias. And currently, I'm reading stories, of course, but now the views are little low. As you can see, just 3 to 4 views. I was having 20. When the audience is high, the number is high, my storytelling energy goes high. And when that's low, on there, I was 3 of them on there. Okay, you watched it on Facebook. Dude, you're so worth it, bro. Your videos are fire. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't find you on YouTube under like the channel because there's a link that directed to me, but the channel was deleted. Maybe the link got, I don't know what happened. It wasn't supposed to happen. But I couldn't find you anywhere, and now I found you. You couldn't find me on YouTube? The links I used to share on Facebook group, they're YouTube videos. YouTube links. So you're supposed to... Okay, now it makes sense. A lot of time, people liked the video link, but they never opened it. It's because they couldn't open it. Now this is frustrating. Very frustrating. Thank you for letting me know this. I wouldn't able to know. Thank you. And thank you for all the compliments. I really appreciate it. Okay, so this is your channel in between the cushions. Okay, let me check. Okay, your channel is pretty big actually. Your stuff is amazing, thank you. I wish I could promote it, because now I don't have any audience to promote it. But, you got 1 subscriber. Subscribed. I hope you saw that. Okay, you got a new subscriber. Now time for another story. Do you have any recommendations to read? Any creepypasta or urban legend or true crime story or any type of story? Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Your content is amazing. Oh, your stuff is... Your content needs more views. Yeah, I think so. And your content too. Yes, I did. Thank you. I'm gonna read another story now, but I'm waiting for more people to join. Anything? Have you written one? Okay, so you even remember that I write stories. I'm very overwhelmed. Thank you very much. No, recently I haven't any. I'm just reading what's already there. I have stories I've written if you ever need anyone. You're welcome to write it down on my community tab. You're subscribed to me, right? I mean, you just subscribed, I hope? If you did, after 24 hours, you will be able to write anything on my community tab. You can write a story and then I'm gonna read, and of course, I'll give you a shout out. My mother is a horror promoter supporter in the community for past 8 years. I'ma give you her contact information and have her promote you because she does stuff with Swamp Dweller. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. Uh, my aunt wanted to join. She wanted to say something, but she can't comment for some reason. She's saying this. Let me fix her issue. And earlier today, another guy said the same, that he couldn't comment, so he had to comment with another account. What is going on? That means a lot of people tried and they couldn't. By the way, public house Tofa, you can share any stories in my community tab. I'm gonna read them out. I'm gonna get your channel back out in front of people because you're such a gentleman. People need to be watching you. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Oh, my aunt can't find the comment. Like, how she doesn't know how to. Let me just show her. I will share your channel too. Okay, let me just read a story. I've wasted enough time. Your mom says you're being a fangirl. I'm not that big yet to have fans. All of you are my friends. Hold on a second. She can't. You got 14 likes now, yeah. She just liked it, and my aunt. So it was 12, now 14. I think it was 13. Anyways, time for the next story. A traveler checked into an old hotel in a small town. Tired after a long journey, he was given room 9 and told breakfast was at 7 a.m. The beginning sounds very cool. Your family. I don't know if you know what altar is, but the mini horse shows that they do know. Let me read it properly. I don't know if you know who what altar is, but the mini horse shows that they do. But your content is on that level, bro. I don't know if it's on that level, but I'm getting there. For me, people who not everyone, even if I get like 100 views, if they acknowledge me, that's enough for me. I need acknowledgement. But if you think that, that means a lot. I have no words to describe, but it makes me happy, you know? I don't want 100 passerbys who will come and go. I need 10 loyal audience who knows me well, who likes my content, and watch every now and then, you know? Like coming back to my channel and checking it out. I need that type of audience. I don't care about the huge size. I don't dream to have a huge channel. That night he awoke. Let me restart the story again. A traveler checked into an old hotel in a small town. Tired after a long journey, he was given room number 9 and told breakfast was at 7 a.m. That night he awoke to strange noises, whispers coming from the corner of the room. When he looked, he saw a shadowy figure standing in the doorway, completely still. Terrified, he ran to the front desk in the morning. But the receptionist looked puzzled. "Room 9?" she asked. "There's no room 9," she said. "The hotel only has 8 rooms, so what are you talking about?" When he looked back at the hallway, the door to room 9 had vanished completely. It's a very short one, but interesting. I liked it. And I'm getting interested to know more about this very story. The issue is, like, I know this for a fact. If I started my YouTube journey a long time ago, I would have reached at least 500,000 subscribers. I'm that type, like, the confidence level is on that level. But now, we have too many creators. Literally anyone with a smartphone creates a channel and creates rubbish content, especially in this short era, using AI and stuff. So the competition is very high. It might sound a little cocky, but I know this for a fact because back then there were no monetization requirements. You created a channel, you're monetized. But that was like very early days, 2006, 7. But later on, when there were like professional creators, YouTube made one simple rule. You reach 10,000 views, you're monetized. I have 2 channels. Both got 500,000 views total. So you get the idea. Things are very different now. Like today's world, you have to do what works. And yet they get millions and millions of views, and I don't understand it, let alone millions of subscribers. They're rubbish, yeah. And of course, there are some sketchy stuff going on. I don't think most of the creators are very organic these days anyways. And they have a huge team. I'm a solo creator. The channel's purpose was to write stories and tell you guys, share the stories, to feel proud about myself. But then I changed that. I don't do that very often. Why? Because it takes too much time. So I'm like every now and then I'm reading true crime stories, I'm reading creepypastas, I'm reading your shared stories while I'm writing my own stories, you know? That's it. And you're a solo creator too, so you know how hard it is. Editing takes more time. It needs a separated day sometimes. Days, in fact. It depends on the potential, it depends on the effort you're giving, it depends on the topic, of course. I'm gonna read another story. Any recommendation? Oh, you just recommended a story, I think. No, you didn't. Eleanor, are you still here? Are you still here? Hello, oh, another person. Creepy Girl. Hello, I'm CCG. Creepy Girl, of course. Thanks for the share, Bubbly. Okay, so you just shared my channel to another friend, and she's here. Welcome to the tiniest scary storytelling channel. I hope you're gonna enjoy your stay. But don't expect much. Oh, okay. That's your mom. Okay, welcome, ma'am. I hope you're gonna have some good time. Subscribe if you haven't already, but drop a like since you're here. What the hell? That was my speaker. How many views I have now? Just be more confident because you have a great voice. Who cares what anybody else thinks? Just be you, be confident, be strong. That means a lot. Positive words. Positive words are better, like, that's the best gift I can ever receive because I need that. 15 likes. I'm trying to get 20. So, time for another story. 3 views, yeah. Currently, I got 3 views. So, let me read another one. Let's see. I hope this one gonna be scarier than the last one. Am I lagging? Shut the hell up. Sorry, it was my speaker. Are a lot of these channels, they pay for views, and those people are paid to be there. They're not genuinely going to be there for that channel when it gets big, or if it ever reaches that point. I agree. And they spend too much, way too much. So I'm not lagging. Thank you for confirming that. I'm a writer, poet, narrator, voice, former podcast host, promoter, and supporter in the horror community since 2017. Okay, you're pretty big, I see. I feel big now since a bigger person joined the stream. I hope you're gonna join every now and then because I decided to stream more frequently. I've been streaming since last few months with lots of breaks, of course. But if it works, if the stream goes better and better, I will have my frequency. Hold on a second, somebody just messaged. 1 minute. I think there's an error. Like, I'm supposed to get 5 views, and now I see 3. I don't know, but whatever. Let me just read the story. You got personal stories of yours? Your speaker sounds nice, actually. I don't know about that. And I'm not using any external mic. Usually I use microphones, of course. But during these vertical streams, I decided to not use any mic. I'm just keeping things raw. Because every time I use a mic, sometimes a lot of issues can happen. So I'm like, forget about it. Just do it raw. So I'm gonna read it now. This story seems a little interesting. A man bought an old camera at a flea market. When he developed the first roll of film he found inside, there were photos of a young girl standing alone in strange places. A park, an abandoned house, a bridge. The man was curious, so he took more photos with the camera. Later, he noticed something terrifying. The girl appeared in every new photo, even though no one was around when he took them. But the third roll, she was closer, staring directly at him in the frame. The last photo showed her right behind him, smiling. When he turned around, the room was empty, but he could feel her eyes on him. Pretty short, but creepy, don't you think? Okay, I think somebody... No, I'm not a big person. I don't think of myself that way. I just enjoy doing what I do and meeting new people. I'm just me. And you're a very interesting person indeed. And a huge supporter. You support people, I can tell. In this jealous world, when you support a stranger, it shows how kind you are. Give me a minute. Yeah, Eleanor says she likes it. Let's hear more stories. Absolutely, Bubbly Couch Sofa. Do you have any recommendations? If you have, don't hesitate. Some people think I'm using an expensive mic, but I'm not even using any mic. It's my phone's mic. Okay, I got an interesting one. Play Haunting of Your Own. Is that the story? Okay, personal stories if you got any. As I said, I'm not writing any recently, but soon you'll get my personal stories. Since a lot of people are asking for it, I wasn't expecting. I don't even expect some people even remember that this channel has my own written stories. And you found me after a while. This shows that my stories were great. If my stories were like trash, you wouldn't even care. In fact, you were looking for me. This shows that my hard work is paying off. Tell a story that is personal hunting, like something that might happen to you. Yeah, I can't tell. At this moment, I can't think of any. So let me read this story while I try to remember some, okay? Of course, I have many. And actually, I shared a lot, but sometimes I feel weird to reshare a story I experienced, a personal thing, because it feels like I'm just repeating. But in reality, the people who heard that story are not even here, so it doesn't matter if I say that again. Okay, let's read another story. And thank you very much for you. Okay. I'm getting distracted. Wait a second. It's my aunt. She's just... She wants to say something, but for some reason she can't. See that? This is real support. She wants to say something, but her account is having some issues. Your werewolf video over on Facebook Messenger. I don't even know how I got in your group. No offense, but I'm so thankful I did because that werewolf once told me. Which werewolf? Hold on. Your werewolf video over on Facebook Messenger. I don't even know how I got in your group. No offense, but I'm so thankful I did because that werewolf once told me on you, like, made me a fan. Okay. I can't remember that exact moment, but I do remember you, by the way. Using Google Voice to text and then done texting. Okay, go into your settings on Google Analytics and you can turn off how long somebody in your live channel has to wait before they can comment. Yeah, I can do that, but it's just her Google account issue. I already told her what to do. She's not getting it, you know? It's not the aunt's account that's having issues. It's actually under your settings. No, what's happening is, no, I didn't do any settings. Like, a passerby can comment. Even if you're not subscribed to me, you can. I did check that. It's just, she can't comment with her account anywhere, not just my channel. That's what she said. I didn't make any "that's what she said" joke. I mean, that's what exactly happening. That's what she's saying right now. That her account is having some issues, she can't comment down. So maybe, I don't know, I don't want to waste any time. I'm gonna fix her issue later. Let me just read the story. YouTube just did an update and it changed people's settings on their YouTube content channel, so you have to turn it off. It's under your analytics studios. I know what you mean, but that's not the issue actually. I don't think so. Yeah, that's... Okay, I'll check that later. It's okay. She's listening. That's what matters. She doesn't need to say anything. Yeah, I'm gonna check that later. Okay, next story. A young man was home alone when his phone rang. The caller ID was blank. He answered. A whisper came through. I'm outside your window. So he said, I'm outside your window. You don't need to check that now. Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to bother myself because I have to focus. He laughed nervously, thinking it was a prank. But when he looked outside, the street was empty. The calls continued every night at exactly midnight. Each time the voice got closer, describing the inside of his apartment. You're brushing your you're brushing your teeth. You're turning off the light. I see you. One night he woke to the sound of breathing right behind him. When he turned, no one was there. But the phone rang again, and a skull was right next to him. That's a pretty straightforward story. I didn't find that story very interesting. It sounds very basic, don't you think? You don't need to check that. Oh. I'd be nope, right out of there, obviously. But the ending was too simplified. It seems like a kid wrote that. Okay, another short one. You got a notification right when you said the phone rang again. Oh, the timing was great, I know. I noticed that too. I noticed that too. A hiker was walking alone in the forest just before dusk when he heard singing. Soft, cheerful, but off. It wasn't birds, it was human. Not very climatic, but leaves it up for interruption. Yeah, true. So, a hiker was walking alone in the forest before dusk when he heard singing. Soft, cheerful, but off. It wasn't birds, it was human. He followed the sound and saw a man in the clearing, tall, unnaturally thin, with a wide, permanent smile carved into his face. His movements were jerky, almost like a puppet. The hiker froze. The man waved and said in a low, sing-song voice, "Won't you play with me?" The hiker ran, but no matter how far he went, the man was always a few steps behind, walking backward, never breaking that smile. Finally, the hiker tripped and fell. When he looked up, the man was right above him, and the smile seemed to stretch impossibly wider. The last thing he heard before losing consciousness is, "You can never leave." Okay, that sounds kinda interesting. I'm gonna More like hide and drop kick. That man. Yeah, right. Okay. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'm gonna get some more interesting stories. Thanks for hanging out live with us, much appreciated. No, thank you for joining a nobody. This nobody gonna get bigger someday, hopefully, and I will remember each and every one of you. The the thing I have is that I don't forget people, especially my supporters. So, and especially, I'll remember this day if the stream gets bigger and bigger every single night. You guys can leave, and I think I should end the stream today, now, because I don't have enough stories anymore. And I'm gonna write some stories, of course, for you guys, since you guys acknowledged it, and I appreciate it so much, because that's the core focus. So I'll see you guys next time, hopefully with better stories and bubbly couch sofa. You can post your stories on my community tab, and I'm gonna read it all. No matter how many stories you write, I'm gonna read every single one of them, and I'm gonna narrate here with your, like, of course I'm gonna shout you out. Sorry, I'm stuttering because I'm getting distracted. And Eleanor knows why am I getting distracted. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Take care.